Do you have a jokester monopolizing your meeting and preventing you from getting the work done? Hi, welcome to the David Goad Show. I was recently presenting in Orlando to a group, and we were talking about some of the things that happen when you're leading or facilitating a meeting and how it might go off the rails. And somebody said, "Hey, I got this jokester that always shows up in my meetings. I'm trying to do scheduling with my boss. They're making jokes about golf. What do I do?" Well, my answer to this is that some humor is okay. It's a bonding thing for many people. And having a little humor, especially at the beginning of the meeting when people are logging in, not a bad thing. We're human beings and it helps us connect. Problem is when it gets repeated over and over again or at the wrong time. Now, how do I know this? I'm that guy. I was the jokester early in my career. In fact, it was my way of trying to dissolve conflict. Two other people were fighting. I would try to step in with a joke, something funny to help lessen the tension in the room. Well, one time I did this in a group of 30, and the CEO turns to me and says, "David, you're not helping." Oh, yeah, that hurt. Well, let me give you some tips on what you can do when there's a jokester in your meeting. By the way, I learned my lesson. I don't do that anymore. So the first thing you can do is to set a strong tone at the beginning. If people perceive you as someone who's leading the meeting and know clearly what you're trying to accomplish, it helps you throughout the rest of the meeting to bring it back on track. Doing a strong 1 minute opening on this meeting will be a success if it's one of the ways to do that. But when somebody jumps in, maybe making jokes, maybe they don't like the conflict or the tension and they're trying to minimize that a little bit, maybe let it go once, right? You can even acknowledge, "Hey, Mark, that was hilarious. Now, what input do you have on the matter at hand?" Bring it right back to the topic at hand and to the business purpose as quickly as possible. Don't join in or try to beat the heckler with jokes of your own because it's probably just going to escalate things. So the first is just acknowledge and move on. But if it becomes a pervasive problem, I would talk to them afterwards in a nice way. You don't want to do this in front of the group because this public versus private dynamic, you really can hurt someone's reputation and turn them against you by excoriating them in front of the group. So instead, take them aside. "Hey, man, appreciate the humor. When I'm under pressure, I don't do well when people are off track. I'd appreciate you helping me out next time and keeping on task. Can you do that?" Most people would respond and understand if you come at them like that, just person to person. But if the problem still doesn't resolve itself, you got to leverage authority. If it's in the meeting and it's a high pressure situation, send a note over to your sponsor or to a ranking person who outranks the jokester. Say, "Can you please help me get a lid on that? Because I don't feel like from my station that I'm able to do that without the authority that you have." So those are some of the tips that I have for handling the jokester. A little bit of humor is okay. Don't let it get out of hand. You have that power as a facilitator to drive that meeting and keep it going toward its goal. And you have the license and the permission to be able to speak up and take care of any obstacles that might get in the way of you getting to the goal of the meeting. Those are the tips on the David Go Show today. What do you think? Do you have jokesters in your meeting? I'd love to hear in the comments down below things that have happened to you, things you said that worked. Let's work together as a community to help each other become stronger speakers and facilitators. Have a great day.